Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we are looking at the CURT Premium 4 bike rack here on our 2021 Ford Ranger. Now this is an awesome bike rack, especially if you have a large family and you all want to go for a bike ride because of its unique design. This also comes in the 5 bike version, which is the exact same thing, just a little bit longer. Now let's take a look at how our bike is mounted to this bike rack. So we have here 1, 2, and 3 straps. So 2 for the top tube and 1 for the bottom tube, which creates kind of our anti-sway cradle. So when you want to take it off, I start with the anti-sway strap, and then we go for the top ones. So that's 1 strap, 2 strap, and 3 strap. And from here you then lift your bike up and then through the arms, and you are ready to go on a bike ride. If you've noticed that the bike rack is sitting kind of high up, so that's something to think about when you have it on your Ranger. If you're a little bit short like I am, you might have some issues with lifting your bikes up, but if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, now let's take a look at the cradles themselves. So we have these rotating cradles, and you have 3 different sides. So that way you can fit different bikes of different shapes and different sizes. You do have a weight capacity of 45 pounds per bike. So on the 4 bike version, you have a total weight capacity of 180, and on the 5 bike version, you have a total weight capacity of 225, which is actually really decent for a hanging style rack. Now, if you've noticed, it's a little bit further out on the inside. Then when it comes to the ends, it's smaller, which is great with your children's bikes. With your normal arms, if they're far apart, they're hard to put into place. But with that narrow distance between them, your children's bikes are easier to mount. So that's why I say if it's a great family bike rack, it's because of that. Let's take a look at some measurements too. Measuring from our rear bumper on our Ford Ranger all the way to the end of the bike rack, just to give an idea for how far back it sits. With the 4 bike version, it sits to the reflectors, to the bumper, around 39 inches. Now the 5 bike version is going to be a little bit longer, but again, it's the exact same design, just an extra cradle here on the end. Notice how at the back you have these nice plastic reflectors, and that will just help you keep safe on the road. This can also tilt away if the bikes are not on it. So to do so, you have to go here into the back and loosen this knob in the back right there. So once that's loose, you can then lift up on this lever and then make sure this pin and clip is released. So clip, pin, lever up, and then this tilts down. And you'll want to do this on your vehicles for if you have, let's say, an SUV, if you want to open your hatch. But on our Ranger, this will allow you to lower your tailgate. Note that your tailgate cannot come down all the way because it comes in contact with your bike rack, but still a decent amount of space, maybe to get into your truck bed. If someone else is holding this up, you can still access your bed. Now let's put this back up. To do so, lift it back up, lift this lever, and then drop it into the hole. Get that pin and that clip. See how it has a little string, metallic string there, so that you don't lose it, because I know I would if that wasn't attached. Now put that pin into place right there, and then that clip right there, and secure it tight with this knob. Alright, now as for the length, you can also cut down on the length. You have this clip here, pull out this pin, and then drop down on the arms. You can secure it again in that folded position by putting that pin right back where you took it out from. So you can see how with the arms down, you definitely decrease on the space, or the length it adds to the back of your vehicle. Let's take some measurements to see exactly how much. So from our rear bumper to the end of the bike rack, which is now by where that shank ends, it's 15 inches. Big difference. This is a great portable position for when you're driving around town. Let's take a look at closest point between our bike rack and our truck. So we have a pretty long shank here, which means from our rear bumper to where that knob is, it sits at almost 8 inches away from our truck. One thing to note while we are here though is that your backup camera is dead center in your tailgate, so it does slightly obstruct it with it folded up like that. Just something to keep in mind. You can still see through your rear window though. Now this fits into 2-inch hitches. It comes with an anti-rattle bolt and a clip. You can also pick up a lock if you want to, or because this doesn't lock, so that's something to remember. You can also pick up a a ratchet wrench, because that's a lot easier to use, although it does come with an included tool. But with that anti-rattle bolt secured, you can see how as I shake the bike rack to simulate our sway, you mainly have, with this tightened down, this will decrease the rattle right there for your bikes, decreasing the sway when they're on the road. All right, so let's take a look at ground clearance as well while we're down here. And we have a ground clearance of 20 inches from our shank to the ground. Not a big worry when you have a truck, but just something to keep in mind when you're going up a steep driveway or a hill. So my final thoughts about this bike rack is, as a hanging style rack, I think it's great for families. Again, because you have that versatility for different bikes with different shapes and sizes. You have that compatibility with your children's bikes, and for the 5-bike version, that's a lot of bikes, and it has an awesome weight capacity of almost 45 pounds per bike, which is a little bit more than your usual hanging style racks. For our Ranger, it was kind of a shame you couldn't completely lower the tailgate, but that's just something to keep in mind. You are able to carry on your bikes, so you have your space for your truck bed, and you just can't lower the tailgate. Just work around that. But as if it works as a bike rack, yes it does. So that was a look at the CURT Premium 4 bike rack here on our 2021 Ford Ranger.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.